Good morning, everybody. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Got some fun stuff to cover today. First thing is a study that was recently done. Conversation conundrum. Despite lingering worry, a majority of Americans are reluctant to discuss retirement concerns. Allianz Life identifies opportunity for financial professionals to help clients. So here's their findings. Americans are more worried than ever about a variety of retirement risks in 2021, including number one, concerns about healthcare risks. And that's 71 versus 65. So this was 2019, 2020 was 65%. 2021 was 71%. So why do you think, guys, that this has gone up? And this is a pretty significant jump here. Why has that gone up in just a year? Why has that gone up in just a year? You'd think in the middle of the COVID crisis, people would be more worried about healthcare expenses, but it's gone up from now that we're out of the pandemic, or not out, but at least we're at the edge of getting out of it. People would see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's gone up. Why? Yes, that's right. Inflation. Rising cost of living from 59% up to 67%. That's even a huge jump. Inflation. Impact of a market downturn on retirement savings from 54 to 66%. That's even a larger jump. People are most interested in getting professional guidance about how to prevent running out of money before they die. 2/3 of people want to know, how can I prevent running out of money before I die? Do we have a solution for that, guys? We have two solutions for that. What are the solutions? Oh, several. That's right. Several. I agree with you, Nick. Several, but two for sure. Two are big ones. What are those? The sale and what else? The sale and what else? That's right. HECM. 68% of Americans said they prefer financial products that help protect against big losses and come with smaller gains, or financial products that have potential for big gains and also potential for big losses. What are all of our competitors pumping right now? Are they pumping bigger gains, with bigger losses, or are they pumping financial products that prevent losses? Yeah, return. That's right. So again, this was 20 to 21. Small changes or big changes in what people are concerned about? So the big concerns: healthcare costs up 71 to 71% from 65. Rising cost of living up from 59% to 67%. Impact of market downturns up from 54% to 66%. And the unfortunate thing is that same survey, they went to advisors, and what do advisors want to talk about? What do most advisors think their clients want to talk about? Everybody answer this one. One answer is right. Come on, everybody answer this. So this is what people want to talk about. What do advisors want to talk about? Two right answers. Come on, guys. Yeah, return. They want to talk about stocks. So if you really want to lock in your current relationship with your client, if you truly want referrals, if you truly want to find new clients, what should you be talking about? If you're only talking about return, are you talking to the majority or the minority? So how do you start this conversation? Well, planning conversation is chock full of variables, isn't it? Because I've talked about this before. When I was only making $50,000 a year, my second year in the business with IDS, or Ameriprise as they call themselves now, I was the #1 financial planning salesperson in Minnesota. I didn't make any money, but I could sell those financial plans, and they were all garbage. Why? Why are all financial planning softwares garbage? It's right there on the screen. Why is they all garbage? Yeah, right. Mark said they're static. Yeah, so you went the opposite of what I was saying. So you're right, they're static because life is full of variables. That's right, Tom. They're out of date as soon as they're printed. Because when I put in an inflation rate, as we found in the last year, any inflation rate I put in would be what? 100% what? Accurate or inaccurate? Any rate of return, accurate or inaccurate? Any expenses, accurate or inaccurate? So there's too many variables. So when you're talking to your clients, when you do an annual review, and you're talking to your clients, you want to go through the 7 non-financial things, but you also want to ask them some other questions, like how much, well, this is for pre-retire, how much you save? Well, here's a great question. How long do you think you'll live? Guys, is that an important question to ask your clients? How long do you think you're going to live? And have you ever asked it? How many on this call have asked their clients that question? I never did. So that's a very important question. How healthy will you be? Now, here's the thing that's counterintuitive to most of, not to us, but to most of our clients. If they think they're going to be healthy, not you guys know better, but clients, if they think they're going to be healthy, do they think their healthcare costs will go up or go down if they think they're going to be healthy? Not you guys know better. Got one right answer? Two right answers? Three right answers? Okay, you guys. Yeah, if it's counterintuitive. They think that if they're going to be healthy, their costs will go down. But in actuality, they what? That's right, Mark. They're going to live longer, which means their health care will go up. Is it our job to educate them on that? Yes, we need to do that. So is that a good question to ask? Do you want to travel? When should they travel? Now, at their current age, or wait 5 years when they're 5 years old? Because, guys, the difference between 20 and 25 is not large. The difference between 30 and 35 is not large. The difference between 40 and 45 is not large. But the difference between 50 and 55 gets a little bit larger. The difference between 60 and 65 gets what? And the difference between 70 and 75 gets even what? Yeah, so they should travel now. And if they're going to travel now, obviously they can't travel now. It requires planning, especially kind of the traveling they want to do, which is cheap or expensive. The kind of traveling they want to do in retirement would be cheap or expensive. They thinking about going to state parks and camping, or were they thinking about going to Europe? That one trip to go back to the homeland or whatever it may be. So should they, what would happen if they plan to do that and the markets fell 50%? What would they do? They'd either cancel, or if they went, what would they be doing the whole time they were gone? Yeah, it'd ruin their vacation. So if they want to travel, should they be safer or more risky? Do you need any costly home repairs? Are you going to get a new car in the near future? Are your kids going to need financial help? Weddings, job loss, moving. Are your parents going to need more help? Now, the answer to all these things almost invariably, sometimes you get a direct answer, but invariably, many times you're going to get, I say invariably, how about not invariably? Many times you're going to get what answer, though? I don't know. It depends. It depends. And it does depend. And that's the problem. That's the problem with financial planning and the software out there, is because the financial planning software is based on actuarial tables. And are they valid? Or is reality a lot different than actuarial tables about any particular fact, whether it's health care, life expectancy, inflation, whatever it may be? Does life ever mirror actuarial tables? No, reality is a lot different. So asking these questions: how much have you saved? How long do you live? How healthy do you be? Do you want to travel? Cost of hospital? All these questions. And this last one: what if markets don't go your way? How many of you asked that question to folks? How important is that question? And more importantly, how often should you be asking that question? How often should you be asking that question? Because here's the thing: in the middle of a bull market, you say, if markets don't go your way, what does every client say? How brave is every client in the middle of a bull market? How brave is every client in the middle of a bull market? They're brave, right? They're going to say, oh, what? What do they tell you? When the market goes my way, guess what I'm going to do? What do they tell you? What do they tell you they're going to do? No, they don't tell you they're going to cash out. What do they tell you they're going to do during a down market? I'll buy more. I'll hold. Right? Tell me they don't say that. I'll ride it out. That's the conservative answer. A lot of them will say, I'm going to buy more. Problem is, will they do that when push comes to shove? You guys that have been in the industry long enough, how many of your clients were buying in 2008? I was freaking panicking in 2008. My money market went away. My money market was supposed to be dollar for dollar protected, went away. It took me 7 months to get my money market back. I was panicking. If I was panicking, guess what? We know our clients were what? And how often does a major downturn occur? Not a 10% downturn. How often does a major downturn occur? Historically, the last 100 years. About every how many years? The 3 and 5, those are accurate, but I'm talking about major downturns. 20% or more, 25% or more. About every 10 years. About every 10 years. Jeff got it. Tom got it. And Mark, thanks for sending this chart. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. Most clients see this 10% downturn and they think what? Right here. They see the 10% downturn and they think what? Oh, it's over. Oops. And then it goes up 11%. They say, thank God it's over. And then they see this downturn and they think what? It's over because we went up 7%. Then this one, then up 12%. Then this one, then up 7%. Then this one, then up 24%. We got to be out of it here, right? Then they go down, and here's the problem, guys. Look at here. It went up 24%, but if they said, okay, thank God we're out, and they finally put more money in, what would have happened to them from here to here? From here to here, how much money would they have lost? Another what? 50%, yeah. So they would have lost 50% here. They would have lost 50% of that 50% here. They'd be down to 75% loss at this point. And guys, this is how it works. Is this how a bear market works, or does a bear market work like it did in March here a year ago, or 2 years ago, where it goes down 30% and it comes back up 2 months later? Is this how it works? Or does it work where it goes down for a month and then comes back 2 months later? Which way? It's this. A bear market is what? One downturn and then it goes back, or is a bear market down, up 2 steps backwards, 1 step forward, 2 steps backward, 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 and then it takes how long to get back to this? That's a bear market. How many of you have had a discussion with this chart or the gray and purple chart? Y'all know the gray and purple chart, right? How often should you be showing them those charts? I'm getting some no. Some people don't know that chart. Just a second here. Let me see if I can find it.
And I can go ahead and post that chart, that gray and purple chart as well with the call replay.
Okay. Let me see here, but I want to see if this is the chart. No, that's not it. Well, I can't find it. Well, if you don't know that purple and gray chart, what it shows is that we have, let me go back to, am I showing the right screen now, Missy?
Yep, you sure are.
Okay. So what that chart is showing, I'll get back here just a second here from current slide. Okay, so what you're seeing on that purple chart is all the way back 100 years where the market goes up and then it slides for 12 years. Then the market goes up and then it slides sideways for 15 years. The market goes up, it slides sideways for 8 years. It goes up and then it slides sideways for 20 years. How many of our clients have 5, 10, 12, 15, 20 years to get back to ground even? So back to the question, how often, and Missy will post that slide, how often, and you should have that slide on your desktop because you should be covering that with clients every single time. Why? Because when you ask clients what the market averages, when you ask 99% of advisors what the market averages, what do they tell you? 10%, 9%, 8%, 7%. And those are accurate over what period of time? 100 years. Is it accurate over 10 years? Is it even accurate over a retirement period, 30 years? No, not even close. Not even close. So why do you need to be showing your clients those? So they're what? Not surprised. Because when you're surprised, do you make good or bad decisions when it comes to the market? Bad. You don't want them to be surprised. The lost decades, risk scenarios, this from Investment News, which is pro-insurance or pro-investments? Lost decades. Risk scenarios also matter on the way back up. If a client has 15 or 20 years to reach investment goal, no worries about the ups and downs of markets, right? Here's some background to think about. Bad things happen from time to time. Over the last 50 years, there have been 5 instances where the market has dropped more than 35%. So what is that? 50 years, 5 times. Guys, what is that? How often? 50 years, 5 times, about every 10 years, has dropped more than 35%. Pretty much 1 out of every decade. Monte Carlo simulations that are used to project portfolios might end up don't reflect these sorts of moves. They're based on normal distribution where odds of having these drops are less than 1 in 100. That is, they might come around every 5,000 years. A normal distribution leads to a smooth incremental path without large jumps. So Monte Carlo simulations should make the client feel good, or is it kind of falsely pacifying? Monte Carlo simulations are not the panacea, right? That's bad enough, but there's something a lot worse than 35% down, and that's being down and then going nowhere for a decade. The lost decade. The Japanese have had a lost what? 40% or half a century. The Japanese have had half a century with their market. Have we had lost decades? Yes. Again, I apologize for not having that gray and purple chart, but most of you know what that is, and those that after the call will go look for that. You'll see that we've had many. We've had like 5 or 6 lost decades in the last 100 years. 3 of these periods occurred from 2000 to 2013, 1968 to 83, and 37 to 1957. Adding 29 wouldn't even be fair. So it's actually, they're not even including 1921. These weren't short drops, just one-shot drops. These were over a long period of times. Following that trifecta, the last one, the bear market, or Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers, have propelled 2008 banking crisis and subsequent pigs crisis, Portugal, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. A curious but not reliable factoid is that each of these was just under 20 years from the end of one of those to start the next. So every 20 years. And guys, how long has it been since we've seen that before? So no one wants their clients' goals to be held hostage to luck of the draw timing. So portfolios have to be constructed and the risk managed with these possibilities in the forefront. But before doing that, advisors must recognize that these are unavoidable reality of the markets. That's the problem. Advisors must first recognize that these are unavoidable reality of the markets. Have you ever, how often, if you follow the financial press, how often does the financial press talk about this? The financial press thinks that what? The market will only do what? The bottom line is that long-term goals don't confer immunity to market risk. One of the time horizons of 50 years or more, maybe, but in 10 to 20 years, no. Clients' risk is being underestimated if simulations don't reflect the major market events in flat market epochs. And does Monte Carlo reflect those things, guys? No. This is a major issue for scenarios. If you're not looking at the path of a scenario, they're not treating it as risk. A scenario is not simply, if such an event occurs, then boom, equities will be down 25%. First of all, there's no magic number. Maybe down 25%, 30%, even 50%. Second, there's a long time dimension. Maybe the things drop quickly, maybe gradually. For example, in the current milieu, it's likely that we have the retrenchment technology. Equities will drop quickly. Therefore, inflation is a catalytic event. Asset prices could move down more slowly. So with the current event of high inflation, do prices normally just tank and then come back up? Or is it a slow 2 or 3 year decline in the markets if it's based on inflation? Fast or slow decline? Slower decline. So guys, that's what and we don't know if it's going to go down 50%, 57%, but it's going to look more 2 steps backward, 1 step forward, 2 steps backward, 1 step forward. That's what we're looking at going forward. So enough on this. It continues to go through all this stuff, but enough on that. You guys get it. So the one thing I want to point out here, though, is 68% of Americans said they prefer financial products that help protect from big losses. How many of you have done a fixed indexed annuity sales presentation, again, using motivational interviewing where the client is answering all the questions, and how many statements should be made by you during an FIA presentation? If you're doing it correctly, how many statements should be made by you during an FIA presentation? That's right, 0. So how many of you have done an FIA presentation where you're 90% on top of things, where you're 90% of your things coming out of your mouth are open-ended questions that a client did not want to do an FIA presentation? FIA want their money in FIAs. In fact, the problem we have, what's the problem we have? When we do an FIA presentation correctly, I don't care if you do the old one or the bond one, you do it correctly, what's the biggest problem we have with that? When you do it right, what's the biggest problem we have with that? What's the client want to do? Yeah, that's right, Steve. They want to put all their money. That's right, Tom. They want to put all their money in the FIA. That's the problem. And why is that? Because 68% of Americans prefer financial products that help protect from big losses. With our FIA presentations, do we promise to make them tons of money? No. We just say you're gonna get some of the market, but you're protected against downturns. That's all we're doing. So you got to ask these questions about and walk through the what ifs in the world. It's a costless way. How much does it cost us to ask those questions about family, health, longevity, market downturns? Nothing. It's the costless way to deepen your relationships and build your business. Should we be afraid? You know, there's only one type of advisor that's afraid to show them the chart that we just looked at here, or more importantly, the 100-year chart, the Dow chart, the gray and purple chart. There's only one advisor that's afraid of it. Do you think that Fisher shows clients that chart ever? Why doesn't Fisher, everybody's saying no. Why doesn't Fisher and any other asset manager ever want to show people that chart? Because they always tell them what? It's not fees, it has nothing to do with fees. Why don't they show them that chart? Because they tell their clients what? That they have a crystal ball, that they're omniscient, and they're always going to be in the market when the market's up, and they're going to be out of the market when the market goes down. Do they ever tell them there could be a 10-year time period, 7-year time period, 12-year time period, 15-year time period where we're not going to make any money? Do they ever tell them that? No. So why don't they? If you have a 50-50 portfolio, 60-40 portfolio, 40-60 portfolio, or you know how the HECM works, should you be showing them that chart? Yes, yes, yes.
And Mike, I just actually put that chart in the handouts, and I also texted it to you as well, or chatted it to you.
Oh, you
so
texted?
in case you wanted to
okay, let me get that. Oops. You got to get that chat out of there in case you're telling me some other thing too. They shouldn't be seeing. Oh, there it is.
And it's just a picture of it. So if you just click on the picture, and it'll come out bigger.
So guys, this 18 years flat, 25 years flat, 17 years flat, 11 years flat. Can any of your clients handle 18 years flat, 25 years flat, 17 years flat, 11 years flat? Not if they're retired. So how often should you be showing them this chart? Heck, I'd love to send all the Fisher Investment and all the other money management clients in my territory this chart with my phone number. All I do is put my phone number here. Call me. You should be doing that every single annual review. So there's other surprises in early retirement as well. Let's talk about those. 2017 study of investment companies in America. More than 50% of retirees saw their spending rise to more than when they were working during the first 3 years of taking Social Security. Have any of you seen that with your clients, or they're actually spending more first 3 years of retirement than they were when they were working? Jeff says yes. Anybody else see that? What's happening there? They're doing all the things that they put on hold. They're traveling. They're buying vacation homes. They're moving. They're doing all sorts of things. And when they get that Social Security, they think they're what? Rich. Free money, guys. So this is something you need to make sure your clients are aware of. Also, how many of them how many of them are surprised when they find out Medicare doesn't cover everything? The typical recipient still pays how much per year medical costs? And we're not talking about long-term care costs here. Does anybody, what's the number, guys? What is the, and this is from the GAO, General Accounting Office. What is the typical person? Okay, you guys got it. So per person, it's about $5,500. So per couple, it's about $10,000 per year that is not covered by Medicare. That could be, that's including out-of-pocket costs for pharmaceuticals. It's covering the Medicare Advantage or whatever else type of supplemental insurance they have. But $5,500 per person, which is $10,000 per person. How many people were aware that that's how it was going to work when they started getting Medicare? None of them. Also, what they're not. This is the real kicker. Has any of you ever seen your retirement clients' tax bill go up instead of down in retirement? Here's another one. When you lose a spouse, has anybody ever seen that when a client loses a spouse, their tax bill goes up? Yes. How many? If you asked, it's again another counterintuitive thing for your clients. If you ask your clients, will your taxes go down or up when you lose a spouse? How many will say down? Most of them. Most of them will say down. Is this a good conversation to have with people? Is this a good reason to be utilizing a technique that will give them 25% or more income with less risk? Downsizing will be a boon. You've all probably experienced this with clients and parents and friends and neighbors or yourself. Does downsizing ever save people money? Rarely, because what do? They downsize to a what? What do they downsize to? A nicer home. If they downsize to an apartment, that could save them money. But most people downsize to what? A nicer area. They move to buy a house on the beach. They buy a condo, a beautiful condo. They downsize to a nicer home. So they overestimate, first of all, what their house is worth. They think their house is worth a lot more because they want to sell at what price and buy at what price. They think they can sell their house at what price and buy a new house at what price. They think they can sell their house at a high price and buy the new house at a low price. Does it ever work that way? Ever work that way? No. They underestimate what a new home will cost. They ignore tax implications of that. They're forgetting about closing costs. I mean, these other questions, these things that they don't think about, if we're truly advisors, whose job is it to remind them of those things? Us. So guys, the main point in this conversation is what? We should be meeting with clients on a regular basis and asking people what? These hard questions. Have you ever thought about downsizing? Why would you want to, or why would you not want to? Can your tax bill go up if one of you dies? Yes, it probably will. How are you handling the healthcare costs? Have you done? I'm not telling you, when you're retired, you should spend that money, but do you have an idea of what your budget's going to be next year? Get up here. And what are the other things we should be asking? How long do you think you're going to live? How healthy do you think you're going to be? Do you want to do any traveling between now and the next 5 years? Do you have any costly repairs coming? Are you going to get a new car? Are your kids going to need financial help? Are your parents going to need financial help? What if the markets don't go your way? These are things that cost you nothing to talk about. And do clients want to talk about these things? Are they worried about these things? Let me get back to... Are they worried about these things? Yes, they are. So by talking about them, does that hurt your relationship or enhance your relationship? It enhances your relationship. Most advisors that only sell investments, do they want to talk about these things? If all you are is an investment salesperson, which is financial money managers, because all they do is, are money managers really money managers, or are they also salespeople? Fisher Investments, or all your competitors that are just simply RIAs, are they in managers? No. If they were really truly strictly advisors, they're strictly advisors, what would they be doing? Charging assets under management, or would they be doing hourly fees? Now, why are we not strictly sales? Because we charge asset management fees. We sell commission products. What makes us different from all the other? Why can we say that we're not financial salespeople? That's right. I got one right answer. Everybody answer this. Why can we look them in the eye and say we are not financial salespeople? Half of what we do is what? Half of what we do is what? Everybody's getting it now. Half of what we do is the non-financial. Do we do things that we don't get paid for? Yes. Do money managers do things they don't get paid for? Nope. Does Fisher Investments do things they don't get paid for? No. Did you, before you came on to 21, come into 5Q Group with 21-point checklist, did you do anything you didn't get paid for? So that's what allows you to say, I'm truly a financial advisor. And do you do it one time or every single time you sit down with them? Every single time. So please, please, please schedule a time to meet with your clients. The markets have been rocky. Inflation is up. Things are out of whack. It's now a good time to meet with all of your clients and talk about these things. And the funny thing is, every time, even if you met with all your clients 3 months ago, if you met with all your clients again and talked about these things, guess what would magically happen? First of all, you're going to build that relationship into a stronger relationship. You're going to get the kids involved. So that means you're going to keep the accounts when your clients pass away. You're going to make sure that when the spouse passes away, you don't lose the other spouse. You're going to also then find more referrals and more money. So Jeff, every time we encourage people to go back to their book of business and do this, even if it's been 3 months, 4 months since they've done it, do they ever find new business that makes it worthwhile? Not every client, but do they? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, they always find people. They always find new business.
So guys, please, 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 if you're not doing marketing, your marketing should be what? If you're not doing external marketing, if you're not doing seminars or anything like that, that's cool. But then you need to go back and do what with your time? Because are you truly working a 40-hour work week right now? And with everything going on in the world today, should you be working a 40-hour work week? Can you communicate enough to your clients in times like now? Make sense? Super. Well, we'll cut it early here today, so hopefully what I'd like you to spend the next half hour looking at your client base and prioritizing who you need to meet with over the next 2 or 3 weeks, because it will be worth your while, and it's more importantly worth your client's while. Make sense? Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic week.